I've had just amazing experience with Dream Support. I first started with Dream Support when I was working on a major academic project,
That's right.
and I needed someone to do some footnotes and bibliography stuff because I didn't want to do that. And I've been putting that off, oh, for maybe 4 years.
Wow.
And then I heard you talk about what you're doing, Micah, and I thought, well, let's see if this can work. And you connected me with one of your admin people, and I think they knocked everything out in 2 to 3 weeks. And because of her, I have a PhD. Actually, she should get the PhD. And then we did some with the Discovery Center, but most recently, Dream Support connected me with Steph, who's been just a fantastic admin assistant person. Steph is somebody who asks the right questions about, have you thought about this? What do you need to do with this thing? We meet once a week for about 20 minutes to talk through everything that needs to be done. She gets it all done. We do stuff with text, with email. She does in just a few hours a week what is just an elephant-like burden for me. It's been so freeing. I was able to take the month of July off in a big way because of Steph and what she's been doing.
Thanks, JD, for taking some time here. What I'd love to do is just have you introduce yourself a little bit and tell me and whoever else might listen kind of what you're up to.
I am JD Pearring. I'm the lead for Excel Leadership Network. And what we do is we try to spot high-level leaders, set them up for success, send them out, and then support high-level leaders, especially leaders who are planting churches or planting church networks. But we work with all sorts of leaders, and it's my privilege to be part of that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I know that it has been about church planting, but it feels like you're also expanding a little bit into some entrepreneurial territory.
Well, our theme verse is Acts 13, 1 through 3. And then the Holy Spirit says, set apart Barnabas and Saul for the work I have for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was that work? Well, it was planting churches, but they did more than planting churches. They planted churches, and they kind of went and planted hubs, and then they planted networks. It was apostolic entrepreneurial stuff that they were doing. So we've had a number of our guys say, hey, I want to do a network. And instead of just the immediate response of, well, you're not part of our network anymore, we thought, well, wait a minute, we're actually good at supporting these people. Why don't we do that? Why don't we help them launch? It's been kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. It's it's kingdom mindedness is kind of where we're trying to land on.
Sure. Yeah. And you actually you have a group, a cohort, a coaching group or something like that where you guys go through the entrepreneurial operating system stuff together. What's that like?
Have you read any of the EOS
I've
stuff?
just, bullet points, right? So I haven't read the book, but I've got the bullet points.
Well, there's a lot of just, I guess, different variations of EOS, but the EOS Life is basically just a little short book on making sure you figure out, am I doing what I love with the people that I love or the people that I like? Am I making an impact? Am I getting compensated appropriately? And do I have time for other endeavors? So coming to this year, so 2023, I wanted to have a 23andMe year where I'm just looking at, am I doing the right things? Found this whole concept of EOS, read the book, thought there's no way I'm going to do this on my own. It's great stuff. So I asked David Bennett, who'd been through the leadership coaching with Leader Coach, hey, will you lead a cohort? So he did, and it's been kind of life-changing for most of the people. We're on our third cohort now.
Wow.
You ought to think about coming through one, Micah. It's just basically what you do is you start with, am I doing what I love? You write down everything you're doing, and I mean it's your stuff. It's everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
I like. I came up. He has A, B, C, D categories. I added E for eliminate, D for delegate. C is the curse or the crappy things that you're good at, but they suck life out of you.
Yeah.
And then B are the pretty good. And the A things, it kind of points you to trying to figure out what's your unique ability. And then am I doing that with who I love? And then you look at, okay, who am I working with? Are they like-minded people? Not just people in your organization, but everything from vendors to partners to it's got some stuff on family in there. Are we making a difference? The compensated appropriately one is really difficult for pastors.
Oh yeah.
Um, but there's some things you can do. But the last chapter too is just really great on are there time for other endeavors? And they suggest a 1 month sabbatical every year for entrepreneurs. And so I tried that this year. My son Scott tried that. He said he told his admin person block off every July for the rest of my life.
Wow.
So we're doing regular cohorts in that. I'm actually looking. I would love to find somebody to lead those cohorts from now on. I think we got it up enough people. I want it to be part of our language. Just are you, do you have time for other stuff? Because I love one of the quotes in the book was when you ask an entrepreneur how many hours do you work, their typical answer is all of them.
Right.
So you would really resonate with a lot of stuff in the book because it's like, your C and D stuff. There's people that Micah has for you Micah can find somebody who your D stuff is their A stuff.
That's right. That's right. I was on a call introducing someone today to a assistant, and the assistant was just like, I love I love doing with all the administrative stuff. I love getting an email. I love being the Alfred to someone's Batman. I love this stuff. She's just going on and on and on. And that leader's looking at her like, I love you, but I don't get you. And I just thought that was really funny.
One thing we do in that cohort is I always bring up Dream Support, Michael Foster, check it out because you can provide an admin person that will do a lot of that stuff. And I think most people think I'd love to have an administrative assistant, but don't have an office, don't have a lot of money,
Right.
can't afford a full-time person, don't even know where to start. So I have been highly recommending you. I hope some people have reached out to you. Hope you're getting some business.
Yeah, you sent a couple people my way that I've actually spoken to, so that's good. And even Brett Burner from Swell Soda, so he was going. His situation is really unique because he was going to Africa for like 2 weeks, but he's got this soda company that he's got to run, but he's the operator. Really, he's the administrative operator. So he wouldn't be able to fulfill orders and all this stuff. So we got him set up about a month before he was out of town and got most of the things offloaded. And they had
Did you really? That's fantastic. I was just with Brett the last two
yeah,
days.
yeah,
He's my publisher, and you know he's got this publishing business, and then he said, well, I think I'm gonna start a church. So he did that, and then he merged it with another one of our plants down in San Diego, which has been a great thing. And then he's like, I've been always wanted to do this soda company.
yeah. It's good.
So
I've got some of it in my fridge right now, actually.
yes, I had two yesterday, and then he goes to Uganda, and now he wants to do a bunch of stuff in Uganda. He's just your classic entrepreneur.
Exactly. Serial
Um,
entrepreneur, really. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. And then you've got, you recently connected with another one of our clients, Jamal, and had him on your podcast. And he's going to be going out to Phoenix to join a conference out there. So that's pretty exciting.
yeah, that'll be wonderful.
So I get to see both of you guys there.
I've had just amazing experience with Dream Support. I first started with Dream Support when I was working on a major academic project,
That's right.
and I needed someone to do some footnotes and bibliography stuff because I didn't want to do that. And I've been putting that off, for maybe 4 years.
Wow.
And then I heard you talk about what you're doing, Micah, and I thought, well, let's see if this can work. And you connected me with one of your admin people, and I think they knocked everything out in 2 to 3 weeks. And because of her, I have a PhD. Actually, she should get the PhD. And then we did some with the Discovery Center, but most recently, Dream Support connected me with Steph, who's been just a fantastic admin assistant person. Steph is somebody who just asks the right questions about, have you thought about this? What do you need to do with this thing? We meet once a week for about 20 minutes to talk through everything that needs to be done. She gets it all done. We do stuff with text, with email. She does in just a few hours a week what is just an elephant-like burden for me. It's been so freeing. I was able to take the month of July off in a big way because of Steph and what she's been doing.
Wow. Wow. So, even though the things that she's doing individually probably aren't that big of a deal, but collectively they stack. And when they stack, they weigh on you and they take up brain space and they just, like the footnotes you put off for 4 years and then someone did it in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So Steph's been wonderful to work with, right on top of stuff. She gets things done, and like I said, she anticipates problems, issues. She anticipates all the admin stuff, and it does bring a lot of peace for me, and it's freed me up to do some other stuff, and also encouraged me, okay, I can hand off more and more things that I don't love, I'm not that good at, and somebody else will love them, and somebody else will be great at them, and that person is probably in Micah Foster's orbit right now.
maybe, and if they're not, then we'll definitely try to gather those people as well, because that's one of the things that we will do as well. If we don't have the right person in place, we'll do a big search. We'll put out a little, you know, LinkedIn posting, and we'll get 1,000 applicants. It's just crazy.
Well, one thing that I've really appreciated, Micah, about how you've set up the 3 times we've worked with you is that you didn't just say, okay, here's a list of 6 people, go talk to them. You said, hey, I'm going to get back to you. And I think it took anywhere from maybe a week or so. And you came back, each one you had basically the perfect person. And we had a chance to have an interview, see if there's a connection. Okay, this is going to work. Boom, we went from there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I like it, because I do not like the warm body philosophy. I don't like it. I don't want to just put someone random with somebody that I want to have a trust, and I want to understand kind of their capability and if they're the right fit. Some of that is their skill set, some of that is their context, some of that is their experience. There's a lot of things that go into, as you can imagine. So yeah, I try to bring the right person back to the conversation.
And you have found administrative superstars. One of the curses, and one of the reasons why I think people don't just jump out and get an administrative assistant, is they tried it once or twice, it didn't work. Or if you have any gift of administration at all, any knack at it, like I'm pretty reasonable at it. I'm probably a B minus, B plus on a good day. So I've had a lot of administrators who that was just not their thing. You thought it was, they thought it was. But working with Dream Support, you've brought A plus people, and you go, oh great, wow, I never would have thought of that, and I think I'm a pretty good administrator. Once you realize there are people out there who are a lot better than you go for it.
Yeah, yeah, agree. So, in terms of for you, since you have a little bit of that administrative part in you, you also been going through this EOS and figuring that out. So, was it easier for you to figure out what you wanted to offload because you had been going through this EOS process?
That's a good question. Well, the obvious answer is yes. I
Yeah,
remember in the EOS process, the coach was saying, "Hey, write down everything you're doing at work, at least 35 things."
yeah,
And you think, "I'm doing 35 things." Well, you write them all down, and then grade them. Hey, there's something great I'm good at. I'm great at. I'm going to keep doing it. Something I'm pretty good at. It's life giving. And then you look at those you know, curse things where you're good and you can't stand doing it because it's life sucking, and the delegating things. The eliminating is kind of easy, but in the C and D categories, it took me a while to go, would anybody be able to do this, or what can I offload?
mhm,
And meeting with my dream support admin person, I realized there was a lot more there that she could take care of in a very short amount of time than I ever expected.
right,
So
right,
I would highly recommend doing just a quick EOS, just a quick EOS, run through. Just
mhm,
say, let me just do one of the exercises, the eliminate and delegate
right.
tool, because I think that'll set you up. But here's some things we really need.
Yeah, we have a similar worksheet that we provide for people as they're getting started.
Okay,
Where they taught, there's the three AED, automate, eliminate, delegate
okay.
categories. And, so you can kind of fill it out. My recommendation is to go through your week and keep it printed out on your desk while you're going through your week and kind of just write as you're doing things. Oh, yeah, this is something that I should delegate or I could delegate if if they had a little training, or this is something that isn't really important. It doesn't provide value to me, the ministry, the business. It's just sort of busy work. We don't really need that. We could probably eliminate that. We've just been doing it forever.
Yeah, I'm in my third cohort, and I'm still coming up with, well, I need somebody to do this, I need somebody to do that. So I may be contacting you saying, hey, here's a couple other areas where we're really looking for folks.
Yep. 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 Glad to help if I can. And one of the things I like to say is that, we work with business leaders, nonprofit leaders, pastors, but we work with the business leaders so that we can work with the other ones because they have different budgets. And so we provide
Oh, yes.
a discount for ministry leaders and nonprofit leaders. And working with businesses helps us to be able to do that. Yeah.
How do
So
you find your people?
there's several ways. So the best way is that the people we work with know people, and those people, they refer each other to us because they're like-minded, they have a similar kind of ethic and all these kinds of things. So we get people that way. Then we have that's the best way. Then I'll also do LinkedIn searches where we'll do a posting and we'll say we're looking for people. Here's the parameters of what we're looking for. We'll get applicants. So I just posted one today looking for new applicants. I'll get 1,000 applicants. I'll pick two or three that I actually want to work with. Once I get those two or three through our system of testing and interviewing, background checks, and all that kind of stuff, then I'll look to see if we have the right any potential client matches for them. If I don't at the time, I'll put them in our pool, just waiting for the right match. So we do that continually, but I also go out targeted. So I'll go in and I'll start searching key terms and words in LinkedIn profiles, and I'll message people that I'm like, this is the kind of person I think we would want to work with. They still have to go through our process, but we start a little conversation. So I found a few gems that way, but the majority of them have come through personal referrals as well as just applicants. Those are the ways we find them. This has been a great conversation, JD. I just wanted to check in with you, see how things are going, and be able to share that with others, and hopefully it's helpful to somebody else as they're thinking about, man, I'm underwater here with all the things that I'm doing. I just need to come up for air. How do how do I do that?
There's just so many of us who, I mean, I see your Twitter, your X tweets. Do they still call them tweets? What do they call them? X posts. regularly, and it's all about, hey, you don't need to do this alone. And I can resonate with that because I think that's where so many people are.
Mm,
Hey, I need some help, but I don't have the time
right.
to even consider trying to figure out who could do that. So thanks for what you're doing. Keep it up. Thanks
Love
for
it.
your partnership.
Love it. Love it. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you in Phoenix in a couple of days.
Yeah, looks good. Sounds great.
All
Thanks a
right.
ton, Micah.
Thanks, JD. We'll talk later.